evening and welcome to Tinkering with Edkelar. Today I'm taking a bit of a break from the electronics to do some camera related content again. I met with NewEinstein during 2021 and he scored a Mamiya camera on eBay, which came with a 300mm lens that is, well, not quite functioning. The optics are fine, as is the aperture, but the focusing ring is rotating freely, making it both a fixed focal length as well as a fixed focus lens, and thus pretty useless. I hardly ever back away from a challenge, so I agreed to have a look at it. My first thought is that some peg might be broken off in the mechanism. There is some crunchiness to the movement. Careful disassembly is called for. No excessive force for this one. I'm going one set of screws at a time here. The idea being that once I remove all the screws, all the pieces should also come apart, right? The tricky part is finding them all. After separating the optical front part from the mechanical backside, I'm quite happy that the problem section does not involve any lenses. Getting those to line up again would be a nightmare. Also, lenses are typically glued in place. The lens contains the aperture, which is controlled by the camera via a set of levers. The aperture ring contains a tiny spring and ball which line up with detents on the case to give haptic feedback for the common aperture settings. Click, click, click. And here is yet another tube that carries the aperture setting from the outside to the mechanism in the front part. Even after removing the aperture linkage, the focus mechanism would still be well hidden within. I counted. At any point in that mechanical part, there is at least 5 layers of tubes within each other. There are 2 little brackets inside this tube. They seem to keep the 2 ends of the lens aligned with each other, so that the front part will slide rather than turn. After removing the brackets, I can finally twist the remaining tubes against each other. Time to bring out the special tool to try to unscrew things. On a side note, this contraption is called a lens tool, which can turn these notched rings that are used to keep lenses in place. If you ever need to disassemble a camera or a lens, go get one. Don't even try to remove these rings with anything else. In this case, I thought it would be useful for turning the center tube. But no, not quite. Turns out that the center tube actually is the back end of the lens and it can unscrew as a whole. It just has an extra fine pitched thread and is hardly moving with one turn. And now that both ends of the focus mechanics are removed, the outside with the grip and the inside with the threads are still not coming apart. Could the rubber grip hide something? Oh, looks like I found the source of the malfunction. That looks like it took a hit at one time. Maybe somebody dropped it? There are indeed 3 tiny screws holding these pieces together. And by the looks of it, these were also what came loose in the first place. It might have been enough to tighten them without disassembling everything. But here we are. So let's remove the aluminium shavings and add some fresh grease before putting the thing back together. Adjusting the 2 threaded parts of the lens to work across the entire turn angle of the grip was not easy. I had to replace the little clamps that align the 2 parts several times to get it just right. Forgot the ball detent for the aperture settings. No click, click, click. And repeat. And now, ta-da! It works! Sadly, I don't have a camera to test it with, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. Maybe the distance markers are slightly misaligned, but visually focusing should be just fine. And that's it for this episode. I'm still in the middle of an old school electronics restoration binge. See you next time! Good evening and welcome to Sniffling Along with Edkelar. Darn winter time.